Who's resorting to fear-mongering and threats to provoke? Amidst the larger debate over the controversial Places of Worship Act, Times Now has accessed details of a fresh petition filed by the Gyanvapi Masjid Panel in the Supreme Court of India. In this intervention, the Gyanvapi Mosque Committee has called, or claimed rather, that if Places of Worship Act is scrapped, then the consequences could be drastic. They've also cited the Sambhal example to almost alarmingly claim that if the 1991 Worship Act is done away with, then Sambhal-like disputes can arise in every nook and corner of the country, and that such a situation could eventually obliterate the rule of law and communal harmony. Now, it's important to mention here that this is not the first such petition filed in the Supreme Court in response to a plea challenging the constitutional validity of the Places of Worship Act. Similar counter pleas have also been filed by the Jamiat Ulema Hind and the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, where they have told the Supreme Court that petitions challenging the 1991 Act could create fear in the minds of the Muslim community, which is already reeling under the Ayodhya judgment shock. They've also claimed that such a petition will open floodgate to litigation against countless mosques in the country. Let's now take you through the key portions of the Gyanvapi Masjid Panel's petition in the Supreme Court. Now, this is what it says. It has warned of consequences of scrapping of the Places of Worship Act and saying that it will be drastic. They've also gone on to add that this can lead to Sambhal-like disputes in every nook and corner. They've also further added that this could ultimately obliterate rule of law and harmony in the country. Rhetorical arguments seeking a sort of retribution are being put forth, is the claim. They've also said that the Place of Worship Act protects secular features of the polity. They've also added that declaration sought by petitioner is with a mischievous intent. The petition is replete with rhetorical and communal claims, is what's being stated here at this point of time. And let's quickly go across to Harish for more on this. Harish, it is interesting to see the kind of claims that have been made, but at one level or the other, Harish, you have accessed this particular petition exclusively. The big question is that whether this is some kind of fear-mongering that is being played upon, because it is ultimately for the courts to decide on the matter. But in this particular case, one side seems to be at least second-guessing that.
Yes, Madhav, a very relevant question. In fact, we should note that several Hindu petitioners who have challenged the constitutional validity of the Places of Worship Act, like Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, Ashwini Upadhyay, Subramanian Swamy, and Purohit Mahasabha, Swami Jitendranand Saraswati, they have all listed the constitutional arguments, legal arguments. They have gone into the merits why the Places of Worship should be scrapped, and said that the Places of Worship Act takes away the right of Hindus to reclaim their religious places, and in a way it validates illegal acts of invaders. This is what they have said. But on the other side, the Muslim organizations, the Muslim community, in fact, some organizations like Jamiat Ulema Hind and all the Muslim Personal Law Board have already filed intervention petitions saying that even issuing a notice by the Supreme Court will instill fear in the minds of the people who are already yet to come to terms with the communal divide caused by the Babri Masjid demolition and the Ayodhya verdict, and it will also open floodgates of litigation against countless mosques in the country. So after this Jamiat and all India Muslim Personal Law Board, who have even cited the Sri Krishna Commission saying that the demolition of Babri Masjid had a direct connection with the Mumbai riots of 1993. Now, after the Jamiat and all India Muslim Personal Law Board, now we are seeing that the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid, the administration of the Gyanvapi Mosque, has also filed a similar plea intervention, which is nothing, which can be seen nothing but fear-mongering, because it says allowing the prayers of these petitioners would mean that Sambhal-like incidents might spring up, might raise their head in every nook and corner of the country and obliterate peace in the country, obliterate rule of law, and therefore the Supreme Court should not even hear this petition and should dismiss them outright without a proper hearing. And it has also gone on to list around 15 recent incidents where the Hindu side has filed cases against mosques claiming that they are ancient mosques, in fact ancient temples. So this is why it is that, so in fact we can see a pattern as far as the intervention petitions are concerned. First the Jamiat Ulema Hind, then the All India Muslim.
All right. Well, there appear to be, of course, a series of similar petitions, as you're rightly putting it, Harish. Let's quickly, of course, take a look at some of the reactions coming in as well, because while the Places of Worship Act versus Waqf law debate continues nationally, there's no end to the politics and provocation since the Anjuman Intizamiya panel had put out its petition, which is in a way fear-mongering about Sambhal-like situation in every nook and corner of the country. Congress and Samajwadi Party are, of course, weighing in. And in fact, Samajwadi Party MP Ram Gopal Yadav has predicted that if the Worship Act isn't followed in letter and spirit, there could be Ashanti in the country. Listen into the war of words.
एक ऐसा है कि संसद द्वारा बनाए हुए कानून है, उस पर अमल तो हो नहीं रहा है। कहीं अमल हो तब शांति रहे, और इस पर अमल नहीं होगा तो शांति होगी।
सब जुडिस केस वहां चल रहा है, सब अपने अपने तर्क देंगे, सब अपने अपनी तरफ से आर्गूमेंट करेंगे। जहां तक मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो इंडियन प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट है, ये एक्ट पूरी तरह भारत की संसद से विधिवत पारित है 91 में। आज 2024 तक चैलेंज नहीं हुआ है, ना सेटिसाइड हुआ है। तो ये जो है ये कायम था, कायम है, कायम रहना चाहिए।
देखिए, देश मोदी जी के हाथों में सुरक्षित है और उत्तर प्रदेश योगी जी के हाथों में सुरक्षित है। किसी की घोषणा से कोई असुरक्षित नहीं हो सकता है और ना ही कोई घटनाएं बढ़ने वाली हैं। ये अपनी राजनीति जो इंतजामिया कमेटी के लोग करना चाहते हैं, इससे देश पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है। और पूरी तरह से सरकारें कानून सम्मत, विधि सम्मत, संविधान सम्मत, देश की जनता के सम्मत काम कर रही हैं। किसी को कोई इजाजत नहीं मिल सकती है कि वो गलती करे। अब इंतजामिया कमेटी सपने देख रही है तो वो दीवा सपने से अधिक कुछ भी नहीं है। यहाँ कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। उत्तर प्रदेश और देश में पत्ता हिलने वाला नहीं है।
All right, let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Dr. Kaushal Mishra of the BJP. He's a spokesperson of the party. We have Kailash Adhikari, MD of Governance Now. We have Imran Ahmed Ali, lawyer and political analyst. Vivek Sailas is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me come across to you first. Imran Ahmed Ali, the fact is that it's not the only petition saying this, but in past petitions too, similar claims have been made, which is why the BJP is saying that this is some kind of fear-mongering that the Gyanvapi committee is engaging in. Your response to that?
I absolutely disagree with that. This is not fear-mongering. In fact, this is an intervention application. And as a lawyer, I want to explain this to you. This is a vital stakeholder to the dispute at hand who is saying that I'm a vital stakeholder and I wish to intervene and become a part of this legal question of law. So whether this is fear-mongering or not, no. I'm only going to refer to Justice Nariman when he was talking about, he was giving a lecture on the secularism and Constitution of India. The judgment in the Ayodhya dispute speaks about secularism in 5 pages, and this is a judgment by a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court. We need to understand that secularism is a basic structure of our constitution. And when this Places of Worship Act was enacted, it was to avoid situations like Sambhal, to avoid situations like the Gyanvapi dispute that we are in today. Today, people are losing their lives. You're trying to say that, okay, let's even assume that this is a historical wrong. Does it give the right to anybody to take someone's life? Are we trying to justify the fact that a structure being of religious importance, and when there is a legislative act in existence, that 15th of August 1947 is the freeze date, that law exists, judicial precedent set by the Supreme Court in the...
Let me bring in Kaushal Mishra on that. Kaushal Mishra, there is a legal context to this, and of course there is a Places of Worship Act which in letter and spirit is not being observed, and with these surveys at some level or the other, the fact that there have been deaths. Can we ignore all of these facts on ground? It is the concern that is being expressed. It's not fear-mongering. Respond to the statement coming in from Imran Ahmed Ali.
Madhav, your story already told what is written in the petition filed by that particular group, and they are directly threatening the Constitution of India. Now the opposition is not saying that the Constitution is under threat because you see, the judicial review, if he is a lawyer, he will understand the judicial review is a basic feature of our Constitution. Judicial reviews can be exercised by any citizen, and every citizen has a right to go to the Supreme Court or High Court depending on what is the problem and what is the issue. Even 9th schedule, which is given in the Constitution, which has no reviewability, that is also been overturned by the Coelho's judgment. If he is a lawyer, he must be knowing the Coelho judgment. Now anything and everything in the Constitution can be reviewed. So I don't understand why he is saying that this particular Places of Worship Act cannot be challenged. Places of Worship Act, and if you come to the Places of Worship Act itself, what it says, the character of that places of worship cannot be changed. And what is a character? What is a character? Character is what is an inbuilt feature, and it has been clarified by the Supreme Court that identifying what is the character is not the violation of this particular act. So I don't know why he is saying that. Please discuss this on the basis of Constitution, on the fact, on the law, instead of going to directly Supreme Court and threatening the whole government and constitutional way. If on the one side there are many Hindu issues which has been taken by all the Hindu societies, which is majority.
Let me put those points.
Exercising their constitutional right.
Yeah, let me put those points to Imran.
And challenging what is
and of course Vivek Sailas also with us. Vivek Sailas, two very important points that come out of this is that the BJP is saying, A, there is no law that cannot be reviewed either by Supreme Court. There is no law that Parliament can't revoke if the Parliament has actually made that law. That is point number one. And point number two, the court itself at this point of time has not spoken out against surveys. In the context of Gyanvapi, it had upheld that there is nothing wrong in determining the character of that place of worship, and that's all that the Sambhal court too has followed. So why this kind of threat of violence is the question that is being posed by the BJP. Vivek Sailas.
Yeah, good evening, Madhav, and to the fellow panelists. You know, I'm not a lawyer that I can go into the technicalities of what the law says exactly, because I'm not a lawyer. But the thing is, as you talked about, as they said that there's going to be a chaos in the country. Yeah, definitely the chaos has already begun. If you see what is happening today in the Honorable Prime Minister's constituency in Varanasi, there's a college, UP college in Varanasi, where students who are supposed to study. And what they are doing today, they are protesting, they are on streets, they are creating all sort of things that a mazar in the UP college should be dismantled. That is what the students of the UP college are saying. Second incident I'll give you yesterday's in Ratlam, Varanasi, 5, 6, 7 years, minor kids are being beaten by shoes and boots to say Jai Shri Ram by a teenager. So these things are going into our children, who are the future of our country. Madhav, I'm not doing any politics. It's just a warning sign, the things that are coming out every day. We are seeing it on social media, and channels like you are showing it, thankfully. So such things, and if they are going so deep-rooted in our children, the future of our country, the hatred that is being, spread throughout the country is absolutely very, very, alarming. It's very serious. I think the Parliament of India or the Supreme Court should take some step to stop all this.
Kailash Adhikari, the chaos has already begun. We have seen all sorts of incidents of, religious nature and religious divide that is coming up across the country, and therefore this petition is not wholly unjustified. Please respond to the SP spokesperson. Kailash.
Madhav, firstly, it is very simple.
in November, Mr. Dr. Sharma stated that any citizen of this country has a right to file a petition in the Honorable High Court or the Supreme Court for a review of a particular law. A petition was filed regarding reviewing a particular place, whether what the routes that particular place carries, and a court of law ordered a particular survey of it. Accordingly, there were certain tensions which were created. Now, I want to just say one thing. Why is the opposition taking any moment that does not come in its way and trying to create a divide in the society? Yes, anyone has a legal right in this nation as an individual or as a body corporate or even as an institution. Now, if a particular institution is making a petition in the Supreme Court, why is the petition to all of us sounding more like a dhamki or a threat? That, it is like ordering a particular court, and this goes, and one can interpret it, I'm not a lawyer, but one can interpret it as a contempt also, that you are making a petition in such a manner that if this things the court does not do, or the court does not pass in your favor, such act on the society or such repercussions will happen. I mean, who are we as individual or institutions or even as body corporates to tell that to the Honorable Court? Let the Honorable Court decide, Madhav. Who are we? Here is where the mindset issue comes in. When you feel that this could be firstly, it is not an issue. This could be an issue which could you could secure your political rotis on and create a divide in the society and try to prove to your vote bank that we are so much for you. Now that is where all the tension lies.
Okay.
First, trying to make a mountain of a molehill.
Okay.
Earlier,
we had seen how the All India Muslim Personal Law Board had linked 1993 serial bomb blasts in Mumbai to the Babri demolition, Imran, and also we had seen how Jamaat in a separate petition had said that Supreme Court issuing notices on pleas against POW would create fear in the minds of Muslim communities still recovering from the divide caused by Babri demolition and Ayodhya judgment. And, similarly in light, we are seeing this plea come in. The big question is this, that Places of Worship Act, as the BJP spokesperson earlier said, can be reviewed by the courts. It can be revoked by the parliament. That's how the system is. The point is that why prejudge that or what will happen? Because earlier also there was no such law before 1992. Does that mean that there was no communal harmony in the country or there was fear at that point of time?
First, no one is prejudging anything. They have intervened to be a part of the matter. Now, this is not a separate petition, which my friend from the BJP is not being able to understand probably. Here, this is not a separate petition. This is an intervention application in a case that is already in court. I'm going to go back to his question. He said that the power of judicial review exists. The power of judicial, and the reason I thought that everyone would be able to understand, when I talked about a constitutional bench of 5 judges of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court, that judgment cannot be reviewed by a district court. So when there is a judicial precedent,
obviously not. I think you're getting too much into technicalities here, Imran. It's a simple question. It is not. No, one second. No, allow me. It is not about the form of the petition, whether it's an intervention petition, whether it's a PIL. That doesn't matter. It's the argument which is being challenged over here, sir. But you've heard the debate that what is being debated is the kind of argument or the quality of argument being put forth, and the quality of the argument is being put forth as something which is tantamount to fear mongering.
When there is a dispute between two parties, every party will put forward their own arguments. Now, it is for the court. Why are we preempting, or why are we scared of what the court will finally rule?
Okay. Why are we preempting what the court will rule? Kaushal Kant Mishra.
Every side has to put forward their own.
Kaushal Kant Mishra. Why are we preempting? Every side is free to put forth their arguments in court. That's his argument.
No, Madhav, I am happy that he is saying like that. That is the main thing. If 85% public is ready to go for judicial review of any dispute, and they are obeying all the orders, whatever is passed by the Supreme Court or High Court or any court, then what is the problem? What is the problem in reviewing this Places of Worship Act? If 85% population is ready to accept Minority Commission Act, Waqf Act, FCRA, Right to Education, and madrasas are out. Communal violence bill they are putting forward. There are many things which was done by the previous government, and 85% population is accepting and living with that. My problem is that why 15% public is threatening the whole country, whole constitution and whole world for any judicial review or any constitutional exercise done by any citizen of the country.
Vivek Sailas.
It is our constitutional right. It's not my constitutional right. It is the right of every citizen.
Vivek Salas, respond to that.
Yeah, the rights of the citizen are definitely there, but you have to see the peace and harmony of the country as well. You know, I just gave you 2 examples. It's so unfortunate that these things are, and the hatred is going to our children. That is what I said. I have nothing more to say. We are living in a society, our esteemed country belongs to all. And if the peace and the harmony of the country is disturbed, so let it be disturbed. What is the problem? If the Bharatiya Janata Party is gaining out of something out of it,
why it will get disturbed? Why it should get disturbed?
Yeah, एक minute. When small children are,
my friend, why it should get disturbed? If there is some issue,
no, let me come in on this. Let me come in on this. One second, one by one, gentlemen. Last question, Mr. Mishra. One second, Mr. Salas. Mr. Mishra, the point being made by them is, even Mr. Mohan Bhagwat has advised that don't go looking for temples under mosques. At the end of the day, if the RSS chief has said so, isn't that something that has to be followed in letter and spirit?
I have no problem. It is his opinion, it is RSS opinion, but country is not only RSS. Country is full of all the citizens. 140 crore of citizens is there.
Okay.
So every citizen has got equal right, and any citizen can go to the court. How we can challenge that?
Okay, let's leave it there for the moment, gentlemen. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Dr. Kaushalkant Mishra, Kailash Adhikari, Imran Ahmed Ali, Vivek Salas. Thanks so much for joining us. One will, of course, have to wait and see what the courts have to say as far as this very, very sensational petition is concerned. Slipping into a quick break.